Everybody is dealing with something. And that's really why I want to share these stories, because the more stories we tell, the more people can relate to them, and hopefully we can help, get through their own struggle. All right, so welcome to Tattoos of My Soul podcast, you guys. I'm excited to have someone who's very important in my life. She is an awesome trainer. She kicks my butt 3 to 4 times a week and has really been instrumental in my healing journey. I came to you back in January when I was in a pretty broken place, and that's when we really first met. And we have become fast friends, and we have clicked so well with each other. We have a lot of common interests and everything. But anyways, I'm so excited to have Alexis Fourman here with me today. She's going to talk with me about just the connection between mind and body, and how, working out and exercising is not just all about, the physical part. Yeah, so she is a mom, a wife, as I mentioned, a trainer, an entrepreneur, a gym owner, a beauty counter, go on and on and on. You've got a lot of titles. But I just wanted to give you a moment to kind of tell everybody your background and how you got into training, and, just a little back cool. Story.
Well, thank you once again for having me on. My backstory, I guess, in high school, I was an athlete, worked out, really got into lifting, seeing, what I could accomplish, right? Setting goals for myself. But it really wasn't until I got into college that, I went to college and I knew I wanted to be a teacher, but I started taking these classes in nutrition, and I had the opportunity at our workout facility at Ohio University to become a personal trainer. And so I took the class to become a personal trainer, and I passed. And I worked out, consistently in college. And just continued to evolve that way. And I graduated, and from there got a job teaching. And while teaching, I fell into that role of coaching. I coached track. I love track. I loved everything about it. I also coached volleyball. But during that time, I had other opportunities come up. And so one of the things was I had become a Beachbody coach, and I loved those online workouts. My husband and I did them all the time. We were the typical P90X person. We did all of those things. We love fitness and nutrition. We'd come off having our first child, and they set that program up so that you could teach little workout classes to promote their videos. Right? And from there, it just really picked up. I had to find a place to hold it. And my church allowed us the opportunity to teach little workout classes on Saturday mornings. And it started with like 2 people, 3 people. I mean, seriously, it was very humbling. There were days I'm like, why am I even going? But I knew I had a bigger purpose. And I'm always that person that just, wants to try new things, see if I'm capable of doing it.
Challenge yourself.
So,
it's okay. We just hung up our logo sign, and it just went flying off the wall, but that's okay. That's life.
We'll just roll with it. So basically, bit by bit, day by, week by week, more people start coming, and I kind of veered into my own realm of doing that. I had so much background in fitness that I started creating my own workouts and doing my own thing. And that's kind of where Flex evolved. And it's just really cool to think back that it came out of my church. Right. And then it just got so big that we had to find another place. And we'd been looking and that took time, and I had to be very patient. So that's something I'm not good at. But be patient. So that's kind of my background with fitness, and obviously but I've done a lot of other things to continue to challenge myself.
Right. Yeah, I absolutely love that. Yeah, that it originated in a church, and now look what it is. So I go to your Flex classes, usually once or twice a week, on top of the training we do, and they are so energizing and motivating, and there's such a good energy there. So for people that are listening, I think it's so important to find a group of people that motivate you. It's working out, it can be challenging if you're just trying to motivate yourself. So 100%. Finding those people that are also kind of on that same journey, I think, is so important. So is there a motivational quote or reference that you just have gone back to or that's played a significant part in your life?
Yeah. There's actually two that had come to my mind. So one was, and I actually heard this, and it's another thing you're probably going to laugh when you hear. I used to sell cutlery, right?
You did.
So I used to sell cutlery in college, right?
Yeah.
And those people were motivating too, and did really well with it. But at one of the conferences I was at, it was an unknown author, but it just resonated with me. And it's procrastination is the assassination of motivation.
Wow. Yeah.
And I even I loved it so much that I made a banner in my classroom and posted it, in our classroom for my students. And it was just one of those driving forces. If we continue to procrastinate, it just kills our motivation.
Yeah.
And I see that in all aspects of my life. And I'm just I just got to do it.
Yeah.
Just got to do it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the best of my ability, do it, check it off.
Right.
And you tried it,
Yes. I love that. And I know you have a personal story about a time that you felt like God was kind of pushing you to step outside your box. Can you tell about that?
Yeah. So, goodness, I would say it was about 6 years ago now. It's crazy to think that it's been so long. About 6 years ago, I had been playing around with the idea of competing in figure competitions.
Yeah.
And I kind of had gotten to that point where I was like, I'm ready. I'm going to do this. I need to challenge myself. And I went on, I got a trainer and went through the whole process of, the nutrition aspect. And I can honestly say I never starved myself.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. There are positive sides to bodybuilding and figure competitions.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't just about the looks. Like you said, it was an internal thing for me. And so I competed in 3 different competitions. And my first one, I got second place and it was in figure. And then the second opportunity I had was I was going to go in and I was going to do figure. And I'm sitting in one of our meetings and they're saying to all of us, we have openings for something called Miss Fit Body. And we only have so many competitors and these competitors won't have a chance to get their pro card unless we have X number of competitors. We're going to allow anybody that wants to try to do that. We'll teach you the poses. This is the day of the competition, mind you.
Yeah.
And I just, in my heart, I'm just pounding, nervous as all get out. And for me, that means do it.
Do
it.
Yes,
that means
when you
no
feel
matter
that feeling,
how scared you are, something is telling you, do it, try it, have no regrets.
Yeah.
And so I did. I had no idea what I was doing. I had about a couple of hours to practice the poses. And during that whole process, I was finishing up a book called The Best Yes. And I think that's what it is. I want to make sure. The Best Yes, Making Wise Decisions in the Midst of Endless Demands.
Okay.
And I absolutely love that book because I was saying at times yes to things that weren't the best for me. And I was, and in the process saying no to other things. And so during this time, I needed to say yes to myself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that was an aha moment for me. And I go up on stage, do the thing. I got second again in figure, but in Miss Fit Body in that division, which I had never even known about, I got my pro card and I got first place.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was a really cool experience for me.
Yeah. I love what you say about, for me, when I feel that feeling, that's an indicator that I need to do it because we've all felt that feeling, before when we are presented with an option and we start getting the nervous stomach and we start hearing our mind saying, oh, don't do it.
Yeah.
You need to actually not listen to your mind at that moment and go through and do it because a lot of the times I read something a long time ago that said, whatever you're scared of, instead of going away from it, go into it. And, I think about what if you would not have listened to your gut and gone into that, you would have missed out on that huge accomplishment. So I think that's such a great point. Yeah. Awesome. Today's episode is brought to you by Revive Events. So Tattoos of My Soul is so much more than a podcast. It is partner companies with All In Nutritionals, which is my husband Lindsay Duncan's company, and also Revive Events. It is the company that hosts amazing, life-changing, motivational, uplifting events. These events are the places where we tell stories of tragedy yet triumph. It's where we educate people on the strategies that we've used through our own healing journey. You see, my husband, Lindsay, and I, we went through our own personal trauma. In February of 2020, we were almost shot and killed in our driveway. Now, obviously, when you go through something like this, you go through darkness. And we went through our dark time, no doubt, but we chose not to stay there. And as we were coming out of that darkness and as we were working through our healing process, we realized God left us here for a reason. We have work to do. We have work to do in the area of helping people. So if you come to a Revive event, you can count on being uplifted, motivated, and inspired by true real-life stories of, like I said, tragedy yet triumph. We want to educate you on the things that we've used in our own healing journey that we believe in so much that we can't not share them. So you got to get your tickets today. We have an event in Springfield, Ohio at the historic Bushnell building, which is on August 14th. And then we also have a second event in Kansas City, Missouri on October 15th and 16th. So wherever you're closest to, get your event. You do not want to miss this. Bring anybody that you know who wants to be connected and feel elevated, because you will walk away with tangible, life-changing practices, and you will have what Revive is about, the ultimate paradigm shift. So I mentioned I started working with you back in January when, you know, it had just been a really rough year, and I contacted you from a very broken place, and I said, it's time for me to get back in the gym. You know, I had trained before, but had really kind of just, you know, I hadn't been to the gym in probably 2.5 years, just doing workouts at home, which was fine. But I knew I needed to get back in the gym. I wanted to get more fit, more stronger, but it was as much for the mental aspect and just getting that, you know, motivation back in my life, because I had work to do on the inside, you know, and I knew a key element for me was getting my physical body performing again. And so, you know, can you speak to that? Because I know you and I have had conversations, you know, at the gym when we're training about that. We've talked about that, you know, synergistic relationship between the body and the mind. You know, what's your, you know, experience with that?
Yeah, I agree. You know, it goes way deeper than that physical exterior. It goes inside. You know, if you're not happy with yourself, even on the inside, you can't, you know, be for others either. You know, I tell new moms or moms all the time, or anybody, parents, whatever, you know, they'll say, I just don't have time to work out, or I just don't have time to do this. But they're unhappy. And if you don't do those things for yourself, your kids see that. People in your life see that. And you're not being all you can be for others then too. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, you know, we talk about that. You talk about mentally too, what it does for you mentally, what it does for you emotionally. Even just like those competitions and the things that we do, right? It gives you a sense of pride. It gives you a purpose. Right. And empowerment, I feel like. Yeah. You know, a huge thing. Like, you accomplish something. If I can do this, what else can I do? For me, when I hear my clients talk about the internal side, their health side, you know, they may not have lost that weight yet, or they may not look like Molly, right? But they have the lower heart rate. They're telling me, you know, my resting heart rate's lower. I love that. Or, you know, after I got done working out, I went and checked my, you know, my blood pressure, and it was the lowest it's been. It's the lowest it's been all day or all week. You know, those are huge accomplishments, because if you feel good on the inside, you're going to continue then to work towards that other goal. Absolutely. Whether it's, you know, the exterior to get into a certain size, whether it's to get more defined, or just be happy. You know, we always hear, you know, it helps with your endorphins. It helps with your energy, your sleep patterns. I love it when people tell me, you know, I'm sleeping better now. That's huge. Yeah. How can we, you know, function throughout the day properly without caffeine or just like with minimal caffeine if we're not sleeping well at night. So it all goes hand in hand. And we talked about that too, you know, that sometimes we're guilty of not giving ourselves that full amount of sleep that we need. And then we're wondering why we're, you know, dragging during the day.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I think for me, like, you know, and anybody that's listening that maybe doesn't have a workout, you know, schedule or regimen, I can say it honestly checks all those boxes. I mean, it just helps with inner peace. It helps with confidence. It helps with motivation. You know, like when this is a small thing. I mean, it's not a small thing to me, but now I can do like the pull-ups on the bar. Right? Like I was like, when we first started, like I see you doing them and you're just like, you know, doing it. And I'm like, okay, you're making that look really easy. And I've never really been great at pull-ups. Well, now, you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm just kind of increasing. And that, you know, just it plays out in so many parts of your day. And, you know, I'm putting together this guided journal. And when I was thinking about, well, what are the elements in your life that you're doing that have literally, like you couldn't live without them? They are part of that algorithm that you need on a daily basis to live your fullest. And I thought I have to include exercise. Yeah. Like without it, I would not be in the place that I'm in. It was part of the trauma healing. It is part of the trauma healing. So, you know, I just think people, if they can understand, because I think a lot of the times we're exercising because we want to fit in a certain size pants or we want to look a certain way. Sometimes that kind of motivation is short-lived. When we can understand 100%. That working out and going to the gym or doing a video at home or whatever is not necessarily about outer appearances. It's about inner appearance, or not appearance, but inner, you know, peace and calm and feeling. Then that motivation is a little more. I mean,
it's like we've talked about this, like the idea, like anxiety and depression.
Gosh,
you know? Yes. And what it does for you and calms you down. You know, if you're an anxious person, it kind of just brings you back down.
For sure.
There are many times, like if I'm at home and it's like a Sunday or whatever, and I haven't had a chance to work out, my husband's like, go downstairs.
Yes, please.
Like, I have this and this and this and this to do, but I can't really focus. Right. And he's like, just go.
Yes. Yes.
He's like, 5 minutes and you'll be ready to finish your work. I mean, you'll be good. You know, just do it. And that's, you know, people will come into the gym and talk about like, oh, they're, you know, feel horrible or this or that, but they leave just so relieved. They've either vented or they've, you know, they've just verbally vented or vented, whether it's on the machines, lifting, whatever the case may be. Yeah. And they're a little bit more at peace. I mean, it's huge. And can I get back to the idea of exercising doesn't have to be what you envision it to be. That's a huge thing, because people like, will think about my class and like, I could never do that or I could never do this. Find what works for you.
Yes.
I mean, I just literally stepped out of my comfort zone and took a swerk class at the gym.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Dancing.
Yeah, you told me about that.
My forte.
No,
right?
No.
But I appreciate all forms of fitness. Whatever works for you is all that matters.
Whatever makes you feel good. Yeah. You know, I agree 100%. So how do you stay motivated and stay consistent? Because I know, you know, one of the things that's so important when we're exercising, if we really want the results, whether that's outer or inner, is that consistent, you know, factor. So how do you stay consistent?
You know,
and motivated.
Everybody's first initial response is, oh, well, it's easy because she's at the gym or she works. No, that makes it actually, for me, sometimes harder to wiggle that time in. Even before we ever owned the gym. For me to stay motivated, it was being around like-minded people, right? Having a support group. You know, my husband and I support each other quite a bit. You know, my family, my parents too, you know, whatever fitness looked like, we still supported each other. But it was just that feeling when I wake up in the morning and knowing how I will feel the rest of the day, going back to that internal side, reminding myself, I can hit that alarm at 4:30 and I can easily say, I'm going to sleep the extra hour.
Right.
But then I go back and reflect on all those days that I did sleep that extra hour. Did I feel any better the rest of the day?
Yeah.
And so I'll kind of, you know, hem-haw around that, you know?
Yeah.
And I've gotten some clients to realize that too. You know, you may feel like you're missing out, but that extra 30 minutes, whatever time you're taking for yourself is so much worth it. So that internally for me is my motivation. Like I don't even think twice about it anymore. You went through the whole cycle of creating a habit, right? When you did that 6-week challenge.
Yeah.
The habit.
Yeah.
It became a habit so long ago for me.
Mm-hmm.
That now it's I've got to force myself to take those rest days, which we talked about, but you just feel so much better for it.
I agree. That feeling that I have, like when I walk out of the gym in the morning, because a lot of the mornings I'll bring my gym bag, just get ready for work, at the gym, walk out, and it's like such an accomplishment. Like I can like check that off my list for the day. I've got energy. A lot of the people have that that lag in the afternoon, that 2:30 to 4 o'clock time where we're just like wanting to go to bed. I used to fight that terrible. And I literally do not have that anymore. And I know it's because I'm jump starting, my metabolism and everything early in the day. Not to say that if you work out a different part of the day, but just whenever you do it, checking it off the list and knowing that you have accomplished it, you've gotten it done for that day is so awesome.
I'm going to come back to that too. You said, because some people say, well, you will put their workout in, they'll make their planner, they'll schedule everything, and then their workout's the last thing.
Yeah.
And it really needs to be like the second thing, right? Yeah. Second or third thing.
Yeah.
For me, or they'll say, they're going to take the weekend off.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me, like, and we're all busy. We're busy during the week. We're busy during the weekend too.
Right.
But I feel like I have more time on the weekend.
Yeah.
Even if my kids have sporting events or we're going away, we still have a little bit more time. So I always encourage people, take your rest day on your most busiest days of the week.
That's good advice. Yeah.
Day.
Right.
That way you don't feel as guilty for not doing anything.
Right.
And you don't have to try and really squeeze it in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I think that's really good advice for sure. What would you say to someone who's listening that they're in a rut? They just, maybe they have worked out before, but now, a lot of people with COVID and having to not go to the gym anymore, they're, people are having a hard time kind of getting back into that routine. What would you say to someone who's kind of in that space? How do they get back on the workout wagon, so to speak?
I think the biggest thing, and it can be the hardest thing, but is talk to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Tell someone, I am in a rut. I really want to do this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a trainer. It can be your friend. It can be a family member. Somebody you think will actually hold you a little bit more accountable, right?
Right.
You've got to verbalize your goals or what you want. And then from there, create a goal and then make measurable goals from that.
Yeah.
Because you can't just say, I'm in a rut, I need to work out more. Okay, well, what does that look like? Is working out more for you going from 1 day a week to 4 days a week? Or is it, what is that?
Yeah.
And write that down and then find room for it.
Right.
What's going to challenge you? Be around, like I said, like-minded people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If your basement is not motivating you and you put in a video and you end up on the couch or walk away because the dryer went off.
Right.
Obviously that's not working.
Yeah.
Let's find something out. And listen to that gut, get outside your comfort zone. Find a place where you can be around like-minded people that will push you.
Yes.
Okay. Or encourage you maybe.
Yeah. I want to just say I agree 100% with that. I've been doing my life coaching certification, and one of the things we talk about is people when you're setting a goal, it's got to be specific and it's got to be measurable. And so, people saying, "Oh, I'm going to work out more." Well, that's so general. And it could be a goal about anything, but it's got to be that specific. Like you were saying, I'm going to go from 1 day to 3 days or 4 days, and I'm going to have somebody to hold me accountable. Because if you just kind of throw it out there to the wind, like, "Oh, I'm going to start going to the gym soon," it will never happen. So make that specific, measurable goal and then do it. And like you said, tell somebody so they can be like, "Hey,
yeah." It doesn't even have to be hard. Like you don't have to like go from 1 day to 6 days.
Correct.
Baby steps,
Baby
right?
steps. Yep.
People will say, "Well, you make that look so easy," or, I couldn't do that. Nobody expects you to.
And you didn't start off doing it that easy.
No.
Yeah.
Fitness, nutrition, all of those areas.
Yeah.
Take those baby steps, continue to learn and grow.
Right.
And then like if you don't know anybody, meet one person. I had one of my friends, she's now my friend, she was a client, and she was saying that she realized, she flocked to people that were more like her when it came to like being more of an introvert. And she's like, I'm never going to like meet new people and get out and hang out with them if I'm with other introverts.
Yes.
So she had to really encourage herself in flex class to not only talk to the people that were introverts, but talk to other people as well and like get to know them so that she could go hang out with them more, or so that she was encouraged more. They were going to be more vocal in cheering her on.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's great advice. I love that. I love that. So people are probably going to, if they don't know you through your following, and if they're going to be plugging into you through our following, they're going to start to recognize you because you are going to do our Flex event, our Flex morning class at the Kansas City event. So tell everybody what we're going to be doing, a little bit, what they can expect. We're not going to have any equipment. So how are you going to manage that?
Yeah, you already know.
I know.
Right?
I did the sample workout. Yeah. No, I know.
So I cannot be more excited about this opportunity. So we will be doing a 30-minute workout class. It's going to jumpstart our day for your conference.
Yeah.
And we don't need equipment, right? We're going to use our body weight. We're going to use eccentric motions, isometric motions. And one thing I want to encourage anybody that comes to your conference is I want to remind them, no matter where you're at, there will be something you can do in your fitness level.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
And even if you stop and take a break, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It's something that you may not have done. And if you had stayed in bed and slept in, like we talked about, right? You're not going to have that energy, but we're going to, we're have time for breaks. All abilities can do the workout. So if some people are jumping, other people aren't going to be jumping, right? But it's still going to be a great challenge for everybody. It's all, and I guess I got kind of caught up in that. I always do. Yeah. But I will tell you, like in my workout classes, which we have people that are 20 years old and we have people that are 60 years old or 70 years old. We have people that just had knee replacement. Yeah. And we are always offering modifications. Yeah. And so that's one thing I never want to discourage anybody. I always want them to feel like they have a place in this workout, and they will.
Right. Yeah. And I encourage anybody that's coming to that event to come to the exercise, class that morning, because it's not about like performing at your best, like, going in there and doing a level 20 workout. Yeah. It's just coming, like you said, jumpstarting the day, being part of, it's going to be an awesome energy. I know it is, getting your sweat on, and then, you go get a shower, you come to the event, and you're ready to go. Yeah. So, yeah. And then I also know, like, if people aren't local, because, you got the gym here in Springfield, if people want to plug into your classes online, can you kind of give that information so people know where to find you?
So, we own Springfield. I own Springfield Health and Fitness, and we do offer online workouts there as well. People can go on to the website and they can book online classes, which were online videos. Also, I am a personal trainer, so I have what's called Flex Trained, and they can find me on Instagram with Flex Trained or Facebook and reach out to me there. From there, I do online programs, workout programs, and same thing, we have a website, and I do launch challenges. So right after your Kansas City event, I will be having a November challenge for the holidays for people. And it's totally designed for you to do it at home, but you will have a group that you can plug into, and, whether it's complain about the workout and how hard it is, or how sore you are, or how awesome it was, right? Or whatever the case may be, you have that sounding board. Yeah. And gotten really good feedback from there. So you can check me out on www.flextrain.com. Yeah. And
I love that.
Reach out to me there.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do that. I didn't know about that challenge. That's awesome.
Yeah, we've done it in previous year. Like last year we did it. We called it No Gain November, right? And you can take that in any
I like that
way you want. Yeah. But it's really encouraging, to have those other people doing it with you. And it's short, 6 weeks, and you have a goal. You have so many prescribed workouts. Recipe ideas, motivational quotes, everything. And I also offer different podcasts like this to encourage people throughout the day.
That's awesome.
Or the week.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to sign up for that. And I appreciate you coming. I love our time together in the morning. And like I said, you have been just such an inspiration for me. You've been such a support for me. And I want to say to anybody out there that's going through like a hard time or a trauma or trying to move forward from something, a life transition, whatever it may be, like get that time for yourself. You deserve that. There are two, well, there's non-negotiables, like obviously with your kids and your husband and everything. But as far as that me time every day, two of my non-negotiables where it's like we're not allowed to schedule anything during this time is my morning time with God, which is very early, and then coming to the gym and getting, my workout done. And so I just encourage people, make that time for yourself. It will reward you in ways that, just are endless, in my opinion. So I know you agree. Yeah. All right. Well, I will have to do another podcast. Yeah. I think that this is great information for people. And yeah, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.